Not with this camera.
Can't even see the camera.
Where are we heading to, Jacob? Hendrik?
Chichen Itza.
Some of them.
Oh, look at these things, just like...
They do? Can't even reach.
Chichen Itza, here we come. Yay! Ooh, I love it. Go ahead, please.
Mire, ahí le voy a prestar I'm gonna let you use my stone, para que use mi piedrita. Mira, ¿nunca han oído? Have you ever heard about something called alternative medication? ¿Has oído? Have you ever heard about acupuncture? Hace 15 años, 15 years ago, there was no Riviera, there was no Mayan Palace, there was no vida. Y Playa del Carmen tenía 3 calles. 15 years ago, Playa del Carmen have only 3 streets. Y era un lugar para tomar el ferry e ir a Cozumel, porque Cozumel era más importante que Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen was the station to take the ferry and go. A los 50, it's hard to find a job after you are 50 years old, que porque tu presión, because you have a high blood pressure, porque ya tienes diabetes, because you have... Y aquí los viejitos and the senior citizens of this village hacen sus artesanías. En esta piedra, in this stone, there's a corn cob. Esta mazorca, this corn cob for the Maya represents prosperity. Esto representa prosperidad. Cuando van a sembrar el maíz, they want a good crop, quieren un buen cultivo, y ponen esto, and they put this para tener un buen cultivo, to have a good corn cob. Aquí está bien, you see the corn cob? Como no tenían un laboratorio químico, because they don't have a chemical laboratory, la hoja, the leaf, represents health. Tú tomas las hojitas verdes, you take the tender leaves of the guava, the tender leaves of the lime, and you make a tea, you make a remedy. La aloe vera, protection, mama and the baby. Algunas de estas obsidianas, some of these obsidians, reflejan el sol, reflect the sun, y pareciera que tienen oro. This is mama and the baby. Pareciera que tienen oro, seems like they have gold, y cuando llegan los conquistadores, when the conquistadors came, pues destruyeron algunas piezas, they destroyed some of the pieces thinking that there was gold, creyendo que había. Esto es armonía, this is Feng Shui in Maya, harmony, positive and negative, ¿no? Ahora tienen níquel, now the coins have nickel, mira, this is a magnet and this is the Mexican. Pero la verdadera plata, but the real silver, the real silver do not stick in the magnet. No se pega al magneto. That's important that you know. They don't play games with you. Aquí no juegan juegos contigo. Todo es plata pura. It's all real silver. Y nadie sabe cuánto cuesta su nombre. Nobody knows how much is the price of your name. Tenemos que traducirlo, we have to translate it. Tomas un papel, you get a piece of paper, escribes el nombre, write the name, y aquí Jorge o Mónica y Jorge, la maestra Elda, nos ayuda. Y si tú dices, and if you say, I want to take one, te lo hacen. It takes 5 minutes to make one. Y nos ayudas a construir la escuela, and you help us to build the school.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'll record. Sorry.
This is the warrior jaguar, right? This is, that means she is very strong, right? In her decisions. Okay? And the letter R, so those are wings, okay? So that means she's looking always for freedom and liberty in her life, right? All right, and now, L. This is a flower, so it's representing the beauty, but not only physically, so the interior, right? You are a beautiful, liberty, freedom. Okay. And letter N. This is a nose, because in Maya language N is nose, right? So that means you have good smell to detect the right way to keep going, right? No, listen, that is no, right? You have the right, the smell, good smell to detect the right way to that is the right? So that is in abundance.
Aiden is a longer
So
name.
those are the meanings of your name, right? Very good. Now, for this,
Aiden is this
you have
big.
this
I
choice.
don't know if you want to take this big or just this big.
4, 4, or 4. You choose the one you like, you mark it, and they're gonna make a receipt for you, right? This one, H,
Or
the
if you
H.
want the Mayan calendar. These are
¿Qué es la H?
Vida.
this is the feather the snake that I was talking about.
So, letter H means you want plenty of life, right? So you're going to have a long life. That is the letter H.
Now let me tell you.
Comes.
Eddie
Letter N is the same for hair and
so
nail,
for Eddie is no
right? So you have good smell.
133 pesos.
Also to detect
If
the
you
right
pay
way to
cash,
keep
will
going.
be will
You are
be
a running
52.
system,
But if you
right?
pay
That's what I like. You have
is paid
quite similar, right? Meaning,
So then
letter
you
D.
pay only 39.
¿Y la letra D? ¿La letra D qué?
It's going to be all done with your letters.
This is the
and
God of
characters
prosperity,
and ready just to make
right? Abundance.
I was
You're going
telling you that in
to
the
have
credit
abundance
card,
in your life.
you pay less because the exchange rate is
And
low.
K, letter K.
It
It's
is
a
the same
fish.
for sky.
Always the meaning of the fish is same than means freedom, right? We are looking for freedom in this life. So as you can see, quite similar. Brother and sister, right? Very good. So that is the meaning of the names. So same than yours. You choose the one you like.
Pesos. If you have
mark
pesos,
it.
use your pesos.
And they're gonna make it to you. Right? She's going to make a receipt.
They take $1. But at the bank it's 21. So you save
Okay. La W que es
Here, Glenn.
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
Okay. This one, the first letter means harmony.
Okay.
Because this is representing home for the Mayas, right? And the home is where the family is in harmony, right? And this letter W. L. This is also that you are a beautiful person, but the interior, remember, all right? So quite similar. The father.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Very good. So letter A, in Maya language, letter A is ak, means turtle. Turtle is long life and good luck for the Mayas, right? The turtle, right? And M. This is, means to be honest, right? So that is another of your skills, to be honest, right? So that is the meaning of M, right? So also 4 letters, the 3 of you, 4 letters,
That's fine. That's great.
all right? So which one do you like, guys?
Are we going to get ones all the same? Okay, stop recording. I didn't get it.
Two different energies.
Something like this? Okay, all of these, oh, that one is nice. That one is made by hand, piece by piece. The material is onyx. It's a nice material. It's cheaper, but it's a nice material. Yes, piece by piece. Yes. The meaning is eternal life. Eternal life. How much is this? Just 1,000 pesos. Yes, it's like 50 bucks. Yes, it's a good price. I told you.
Yeah, and you got the blue SWIP. We did the other thing too. If you show them the blue, we also have that they said they.
Yes, and I promise a good price for.
She, see,
Yes,
see,
yes.
that's.
Yes, I promise a good price for you.
All right, well, I think I've kind of got everything I need here. You want to make a price
That
for
one?
me?
Yes, but you know what's meaning is that
I
one?
don't. I just like I like the color. I like the look. It's really nice.
Yes, but I think no, it's a good meaning for you. It's fertility.
It's for my daughter.
It's good.
Maybe I don't want her to be fertile.
It's
Too many babies.
fertility.
Fertility.
It's good.
Hindsight is 2020.
It's nice. It's good. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
You go ahead.
Is there a bathroom down here?
Nope, up there was the bathroom.
Oh, bathroom everywhere now.
right, they're both down there. I'm watching. Go ahead, you go by. I don't worry about my camera. Just keep going. Why don't you guys go get food, or Caroline, you go with Hendrik get food? Yeah, it's a buffet. You just line up and go. Hendrik, you go with Caroline?
They probably just put really green in the lemon.
It's unlimited drinks. He can get as many as he wants.
Yeah, I know.
dressing up and drinking beer, or it wouldn't be balancing so well.
Why are the doors have to talk?
Energy here.
I'll be kind of cool if you could actually float all the way up there.
Uncle, why are the doors have to talk?
Because that's a temple.
All right, amigo. We find the palaces and the residentials. The 10% of the population 1,000 years ago, nobility and royalty used to live on the right-hand side. And if we go behind those trees, there is a wall. And behind the wall is where the 90% of the population used to live. The working class people lives over there. So if the houses were over there, but the palaces were on the other side, Señor Victor, what is this? What you see right here is not a house, it's not a residential, it's not a palace, it's not a castle, it's not a tomb. What we see right here, using your imagination, this is the ceremonial center. Look at the pyramid for one moment, and this pyramid was built in the year 1050 after Jesus Christ. Amigo, this is 1,000 years old, and I'm 52. If I show you a picture of myself when I was, what, 8 years old? I mean, what, 10-year-old? I was different. From a volcano called Cinnabar, an oxide of iron. And the sunken panels were painted on yellow color. And the tower on top, over there by the smiling face, there was a blue turquoise color stripe going around. So, and when the music stops, then they all look to the ruler that was up on top. And from this side, from this view, we see that the pyramid have one doorway. But once you and me stand in front of the pyramid, there's 3 doorways. And right behind the 3 doorway, there's a room. If you look through the doorway, there's a wall behind, and that's the room. And if you stay over there and you speak, your voice goes inside of the room and comes out amplified, like an echo. We're gonna make that acoustic. Amigo, that's nothing. It's very nice that you all came today, because every 21st of March, the restaurant that we ate ran out of food, ran out of tacos, ran out of tortillas, ran out of water. The last group that arrived to that restaurant, they half a circle is starting from the tree and going all the way there and ends on the other side. But if you cut the half a circle in a half, and then you go on a 45 degree, then you have the pyramid. Can you see that? So, if you look at the pyramid, the center of the building is the staircase. But if you look at the staircase and then you look at the tower, have a misalignment. Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's more room in the front part and a smaller room behind. But the center of the staircase is the doorway and the center of the tower is the smiling face. So they want to keep the orientation to the sunset and the orientation to the cenote. Now, I was telling you that the pyramid looked like a triangle, but the truth is that it was built on platforms. Can you see? There's 9 layers. So the platform at the bottom is way much bigger than the one on top. Pyramid in the north point. So if you and me, we move this way little by little, the rim of the staircase is going to get visible here and here and here, creating that phenomenon of the snake coming to the ground. The 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and if you look on the ground, we see the snake head. Can you see it now? So imagine for 1 second that if the sun sets right there, the sun is going to filter through those 8 big steps and the light will get reflected right on the rim of the staircase.
Can you see?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It looks like she's coming down.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that during the 21st of March, the whole staircase gets illuminated all the way down to the head of the snake is for this. Come, we move this way. Come for a second. Come here for a second. Amigo, can you look at the pyramid for 1 second again? Can you see that every staircase up on top starts near to the balcony, but at the bottom is separated from the building? Same thing on the left, wide at the bottom, narrow on top.
Yeah.
And the reason is this. The pyramid, the building, have a 45 degree. But the only way to make, because the sun is getting lower and lower and the light enlarge, they have to enlarge the staircase to 51 degrees. And to enlarge the staircase to 51 degrees, separated from the 45 degree of the pyramid, to do that, you need to have numbers. You need to have multiplications. You need to have divisions, and you need to know how to count the days. That's why this morning I was telling you, amigo, don't have a little piece that look like a C, and on the left-hand side have another one. That C was not a C, it was a G. But this part left, is gone, and only we have a C left. And there was 5 in every side. 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 is the amount of days in the Mayan month. But look, every platform have 3 sunken panels, but there's 3 in the other side, so it's 6. But if you look at the smallest platform on top do not have 3, have only 2. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 times 8 is 48, plus 2 in one side is 50, plus 2 in the other side is 52. And 52 is the amount of moon phases in the... have 30,000 people here. And the problem of the ruler of Chichen Itza was this. In this area of Mexico, the weather never changed. In America, the Native American Indians, they knew when was the winter because the snow comes. And they knew when was the fall because the maple trees drop the leaves to the ground. But the Mayan ruler 1,000 years ago is December, is the first days of January, and the trees are all green. And in this area of Mexico, time that they bring their kid, tell the kid, my son, see the ruler, he controls the weather. If he's happy, we get food. He's not happy, we get... And, amigo, go to your field, cut the jungle, let the jungle dry out, set it on fire, because in the next 52 days, I'm gonna send the rain. And the people have lots of faith and go, and the rain comes. Amigo, remember I was telling you who lives here? A feathered snake and a snake bird, a snake that flies. Hear that? See, imagine the people 1,000 years ago, they get here, they are dancing, and suddenly the rulers show up. What will be the most get amplified? So if you make the whistle will come out exactly the same. When you speak, is the same sound. Listen. Olo! Oh! And when you make an applause, everything changes. The sound goes to the top and comes out like the chirp of a bird. Can you help me? Who wanna make an applause like vamos.
No, está parado ya, terminaste de aquí, parado es el pueblo. Por eso lo que estoy gritando no es así, al contrario, pero ya hablando así. ¿Verdad? El sonido, les digo...
When you play the guitar and you go string by string, you heard different sounds. No, tan 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 tone. When you whistle, is one tone. And when you speak, it's another tone. Olo! Oh! And when you make an applause, it's like playing the strings all of the time, because the sound goes step by step. And when the sound of the applause go inside of the room, part of our applause touch this wall, and this wall send a delay. So the sound suffer a distortion, and what we heard is the chirp of a bird. Can we do it again? Can you follow me now, but like a double, like this? Prap, prap. So imagine that no one explained you this, and you make an applause in your house and nothing happens. But when you come here, there's a snake bird coming, and the people applause, and the sound that comes out is like the chirp of a bird. So that feathered snake was alive. Well, we go this way. Please come in. But then on the right-hand side, there's more columns but round shape. You see that? Well, according with the archaeologists that restored this area, one day this place is supposed to look like this. So, in the opinion of these archaeologists, those square columns were holding a rooftop. But the rooftop fell, and it was impossible to put it back again. But if you look at this image, the square building ends, there's a space, and then we have a separated gallery with round columns. So which is that part? Square building, round column building. So the rule number 2 in archaeology is, whenever you find in a Mayan area one building with 2 columns on top, the place on top was made for privileged people. But whenever you find a building with too many columns, was made for the crowd. So now the archaeologists consider that all of those round columns over there, that area was the market. And the market means that there's 2 columns on top in the space. And the 2 columns, there are two feathered snakes coming to the ground. If you focus in the two columns, the very top is the bunch of feathers tied with a bony tail. And the next part look like a square pieces because it's the rattler of the rattlesnake. The column is the body and the head have the mouth open. Can you see? But right in the middle of the two snakes, there is a human sculpture. Can you see it? So probably they offer these to the sun god, and the sun god received that offering and get that energy of those human hearts. Now, if they really sacrifice people, who gets sacrificed here? The kids or the adults? Or the virgin kids or virgin girls, or not very much virgin girls, or not very much virgin boys, or politicians that don't do the work well? Who's gonna get sacrificed? Amigo, when you go inside of that building, you take the clothes off their body. But part of this humiliation is that they take the nails off their toes and they take the nails off their fingers. And if you have no nails on your fingers, no nails on your toes, you cannot move, you cannot run, but you can eat. And if you eat when you cannot move, then you get more kilos. And once you are robust, it's time to get sacrificed. They never sacrifice slim people.
Only their hips, yeah.
Now we are trying to investigate why this blue color that originally comes from Atlanta, Georgia is well, can you go here? It's called Palygorskita. That's the name of that bird, Palygorskita. All right, amigo, they used to play here again. And the archaeologists found in a stone carving where there's one man helping the player to tie a cushion in the hip. So we estimate that when they play this game, they never use their hands, they never use their foot, they never use their head. They hit the ball with a hip. But if you imagine that the Mayan people were so small and the ball was 6 pounds heavy, how can a Mayan man that was this tall hit the ball with a hip and send the ball 21 feet high? Amigo, that's impossible. So one of the archaeologists estimate that they never played here because there's not much evidence that the ball touched the wall. So probably we don't see the evidence of the ball touching the wall because they play on the ground. But another archaeologist estimate that maybe one of the players was underneath the ring in the terrace. So the players here using the wall hit the ball with the wall and get a bigger bound and a higher bound and then pass the ball to the player underneath the ring, and then the player using the knee or the elbow try to score. It makes sense. But another archaeologist says that they play on a short way and another one says that they play on a long way. Amigo, we don't know. We don't have one single Mayan informant alive. They all died. And the Spaniards took the Mayan books and burned them. So we don't have much things. The only thing we have are opinions, speculations, ideas of the archaeologists.
No, the cenote is over here.
On top of the beard are these. This is symbolizing the moon solar calendar. Ahí está, this man.
¿Aquí qué?
Here's a cenote for their water source.
Water in it, and they did sacrifices.
You have to filter the water?
Ahora sí sabes que aquí eran donde cayeron
That's what they really have.
No, hombre, no te apures. Ándale, gracias. Bye.
¿Dónde está Ángel?
Allá está en la esquinita.
Por acá se ve mejor Ángel.
Okay, that's good. I got a picture.
A ver, Mario. Bueno, no le digo yo suegra, pero cuando la presento sí le digo, sí, suegra.
Hola.
It's the wall around the city, or the main center of the city, town. Here on this side, you can see how the temple was probably originally found by the archaeologists. These other stones here, they've sort of rebuilt, put back together.
Aber dann, ich glaube, in den Erden, also die Gewinner, dann auch ihre Zone. Das soll die beste Vorfahrt zu die beste Zone.
What do you see?
Well, he sees an image in the steps that are still there.
Yeah.
Find all.
Daddy,
What?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Spanish just destroyed them, eh? Either destroyed them or maybe the roof wasn't made out of stone. The roof might have been made out of like timber and stuff like that. So of course it would deteriorate over time. Well, they said that I think I heard something like there's a high percentage of Asians that have DNA from Gekistan.
I'm hungry.
lot of extra letters in.
No. I'll trade 2 bottles for you.
Turn the light up there. Turn the light up. Who left that here? Turn the light up. Light. Who left all that here? What the heck? Kind of a bus company is this? It doesn't clean up their mess. That was the bus ride. Caroline having a nice nap on the bus. Hendrik. I think our poor camera's having trouble focusing.